Hey, success. Good morning, campers. Welcome back to Fort Bridger in Wyoming. We're going to do a short flight here. Let's actually bring up our flight plan. Sky Vector. I'm feeling lucky. There we go. It remembers. So, our flight plan, we're just going to do a little sightseeing tour around this part of Wyoming. It's going to be a two-parter. We're going to fly up to Bear Lake County, and then we're going to fly back to Fort Bridger. We're going to just check out a couple of places I like in this area. A little bit interesting scenery. Might touch down at an airport near a city that I like visiting in my truck, which is right around here, called Cokeville. But we're at least going to buzz the truck stop I know up here. There's a truck stop I know down here I want to check out, see what that looks like. There's a famous bit of road right around here that is one of my more popular YouTube videos from my trucking days, is filmed right here. So we'll buzz that and see what that looks like, and just fly over the Sisters, up this little valley towards Cokeville, and then over to Bear Lake County Airport near Montpelier, Idaho. So that's the plan, and we're in a Cirrus SR-22, just like acting like we're renting this from whoever owns that hangar at the Fort Bridger Airport. We landed the Baron here in yesterday's video. So let's get this thing started up. I don't know how to start an SR-22. Conveniently, the only checklist we have. Perfect. Parking brake. Okay, that on? That's on. Battery master switches. Beep boop. Let's see. Ice protection, pitot heat, nav, strobe, landing. All right, so strobe light on. Oh, yeah, that was actually the next. Mixture, rich. Okay, already done. Power lever, full forward. Power at max. Fuel pump prime. Then boost. Power lever, open 1/4 inch. Ignition start. Where's the ignition? Oh, it's underneath the... Move the checklist. Both, and start. Excellent, and bring back the power lever. Oil pressure check. Looks good. Alternator on. And we can turn off the pitot heat now. Turn on the pitot heat now. And avionics on. And parking brake release when we're ready to go. We're not ready to go yet. Okay. Excellent, excellent, excellent. We just filled in direct flight on here because we're going to be doing this VFR, not IFR. It's a bit windy today as well, by the way, so that's exciting. Speaking of wind, let's get the wind displayed on the PFD. Nailed it. We're going to go back, and we'll have bearing 1 set to our GPS waypoint, just so we've got the direction of our next airport in front of us the whole time. Back, and don't need the ADF. Transponder standby, 1200, perfect. And timer reference, don't need that. And alerts, cool. Actually, timer reference, what are our speeds? 0 knot glide speed, that seems dangerous. Takeoff speed looks like 70 knots, approach speed 101. Okay, good to know, good to know. 70 knots. All right, I think we can handle that. Why is the altimeter starting so low? That's quite something. All right, well, let's get... AWOS is 118.8. So let's get this. Why are you being weird? Okay, fixed it. How do I switch to COM 2 on this? No idea. Well, I can... Let's just tune it on the main. 118. 8.
Kilo Foxtrot Bravo Romeo automated weather observation 2100 Zulu. Wind 244 at 12. Visibility
244, 12
Sky
knots.
condition. Few clouds at 700 feet. Few clouds at 4,400 feet. Few clouds at 12,100 feet. Temperature 0 C dew point. 10 C altimeter 3042.
3042. Wow, that's not even close.
Kilo Foxtrot.
That's the wrong knob. It's going to take a minute. Let's just hit the B button. Yep. There we go. That got us at least 2992. 30. Was it 42? I forgot. Just hit B. Yeah, 3042. Wow. That was like 1,000-foot difference. Okay. And let's just go ahead and set our heading bug up to our runway heading. Where's my autopilot controls here? Oh, I need to initialize that. Thank you. Let's go ahead and zoom you out a bit. There we go. Oh, we got some other aircraft in the air. I switched it to live traffic, so we are getting some traffic, but not a lot. Oh, cool. I can change the air conditioning. Let's just turn on some hot air. Maybe, I don't think it's simulated at all, but it might help with the, Oh, we got a wing leveler. That's nice. I figure that might help with the, what's it? Frame rate issues that I've been having. That's it. We're already at 7,000 feet, so we're going to just tune this to, like, 10,000. Going west, east is on, so 10,500 ought to be good. Or we could do 8,500. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what things look like. We'll probably just stay within within like 1,500 feet of the ground. Stay in the class Golf. I forget the exact altitude, but 1,000 feet we should be all right. 1,400 I think is class Golf. 14 or 1,500. 700 around certain airports. Marker. Ah, okay. Oh, is our comm? Okay. Gotcha. Indicated airspeed. Altimeter. VNav. Vertical speed. Nav hold. Heading hold. Approach. Let's hit heading hold mode. So I should have heading and pitch. Excellent. And vertical speed. Let's go for 1,000 foot per minute. Well, I don't know what kind of performance we can get out of this plane. 700 foot per minute climb. Alright, no autopilot actually on. That's just the flight director. So let's get out to our runway. 1228 for traffic. Let's just make sure we're taking off on the proper runway. Taking off on 22. And announce taxi.
Kilo Foxtrot Bravo Romeo traffic Cirrus November. Charlie 22 Foxtrot Bravo is taxiing to runway 22.
Make sure we miss that guy. Yep, we're all good. Alright, hold short marker. Let's get rid of that real quick and check the approach for other planes. And just repeat on this side, check for other planes. I don't see anything. We're going to take off on the paved runway. There's a dirt runway that's a little more into the wind, but I don't know how well this plane handles dirt, so let's not and say we did. We're going to announce a departure to the west, so that will be 9.
Kilo Foxtrot Bravo Romeo traffic Cirrus November. Charlie 22 Foxtrot Bravo taking off runway 22 west departure.
Alright, plenty of runway ahead of us. Expecting a little bit of a wind from the right. This is the dirt runway that's better lined up. Just starts here and goes that way. We're going to stay on the pavement. Alright. Let's... Is there a button for takeoff flaps? Where's my trim? I don't see any trim indicator anyway. Let's just pop the outside view. Ooh, glad I checked that. Alright, take off there. Perfect. And best mixture button? Okay. That doesn't seem to be correct at all. Let's see. Where's our RPM on here? There we go. Let's just do a quick run-up check. I know we're already out on the runway, so maybe not the time to be doing this, but whatever. I'm adjusting the mixture control right now, which there is no change in RPM at all. So my mixture control working? Yeah, okay. Alright, I'll just have to assume this this one's automatic. This particular plane, and we'll leave the mixture full forward. That's fine. Let's take off. Oh, 1 notch of flaps. Did I announce I was taking off? Yeah. Oof. That crosswind. $67. Rotate. 70. We're off the ground. Staying kind of in the ground effect. We've got our landing gear doesn't retract, so we're just going to float along the ground here for a minute and climb out. We have been blown so far off course already. Alright, let's retract our flaps. And adjust our trim so we are in fact still climbing. Okay, I do believe we are pretty much clear of the airport. Let's bank left and catch the interstate. And we'll be following the interstate for the first part of this trip. 13 minutes in, we're off the ground. That's a record for me. Speaking of the interstate, I think that's it there below us. Yes? No? Maybe? No, I don't think that's the interstate. No, it's just a river. There's no road there. Interstate, interstate, interstate. Where are you? Oh, freeway. Where you at, freeway? Is this it here? Yeah, that's it below me. There it is. Just looks a little bit odd. Alright, let's bear right. Little parking pull out there. Oh, I know where we are. So that if you see out our back right window, hold on, I'll try and. That's my altitude warning. Try and get it out this window. There's a parking spot there to the right, in the top right corner of my window. There's a that's an old way station. It is a free scale for drivers to use, so you can check your axle weights there. Without any charge, without any DOT breathing down your neck. It's kind of great. It's a good place to slide your fifth wheel if you haven't done that yet and you got a new truck. Alright, so we're going to head west. We're looking for a specific bit of road that is known colloquially as the Highway to Heaven. It is a kind of famous bit of freeway out here. I think that's the TA up ahead of us. We're going to swing out to the right here. So I think the Highway to Heaven segment should be in this little valley here. And that's the TA truck stop. Spent many a night there, Fort Bridger, TA. It is a lovely place. Got a nice little Burger King inside, which is there's nothing else in this area to stop at and eat. So you got tons of parking and a lovely field of friendly sheep right next to it. Yeah, that's the fuel island there. This is all the paid parking on this side. Been there many times, many times. We got to keep an eye out because we're like right at windmill height. Yeah, see, there's a bunch of wind turbines on the other side of the freeway. That's why we're on this side. Did not know they'd be there in the game, but it's good to know that precaution paid off. There's a parking area for checking your brakes right here if you want to. It's not particularly necessary, but here is our Highway to Heaven. So we'll kind of line up with the road here and make our turn.
500.
Yeah, I know. So when you're coming down this hill in a car or a truck, if the cloud layer is low enough, that valley on the far side can extend up into the clouds. So you'll have a cloud layer like right here, and this happens a lot here actually. So this looks particularly steep because we're going downhill right now. We're descending, as you can see over here. We are heading down into this valley. So that makes this leg look extra steep because your brain sees this as a flat road, even though you're going downhill and the bottom is here. It's actually a V shape, this road, but it just looks like a super steep hill up ahead of you that climbs up into the clouds. So it it has gotten the reputation as being a highway to heaven because, it's in certain weather conditions, you get that cloud layer right there at the top of the opposite hill, and, traffic just seems to drive up into the clouds and vanish. It's kind of fantastic. Kind of fantastic. Let's pop out to the external view. And
500.
F12. The elevation data for the highway seems to be a little odd through here.
500.
A little bumpy, but it's fine. It's fine. Go ahead and increase our power a little bit here. I believe this is a combined power handle, so it does both RPM and manifold pressure.
500.
I think this is a constant speed prop, but it manages all of it through a single control, which is kind of neat. Speaking of single control, that's our yoke. That's fascinating, right? So if you look down there at the actual road, you see there's a climbing lane now, because this is super steep. And trucks need all the help they can get clambering up this hill. get to the top here and you're going super slow, and then that lane ends, so you're forced back into traffic before you can really accelerate, and then the whole road curves to the right and drops into the next valley, which is where we have our intersection with US 189, I think? Might be 191? I forget sometimes. I think 189. I think 191 is further up. It's over in Rock Springs, I think. This should be 189. But so 189 goes off to the right and hits U.S. Highway 30 over near Kemmerer, Wyoming, which has a lovely little airport, as well as a way station that I got stopped at so often that the DOT cops that work the way station knew me by name because I got pulled in there all the time, and I was friendly, and they knew I was an easy inspection if they needed to fill a quota or something. So that was always fun because they rather enjoyed auditing my logs because my logs were brutally honest. I tend to we're going back uphill again. As you can see, we're following, this is Interstate 80, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned that. I'm kind of just brutally honest in my trucking logbook. I will just, I log stuff as it happens, and I comment things out extensively, so it's like, well, okay, I'm at this customer, I'm checked in, okay, now I'm sitting in the truck waiting for something, okay, now I'm going back in the sleeper to eat, and then the one they found most amusing was I had an edit on my log where I'd been just on duty unloading and then changed it to sleeper berth because according to my my edit reason for my logs, I just fell asleep, which is what happened. I just fell asleep. Now another climbing lane here up to the top. This bit of road very treacherous. We call these the sisters, all these mountains here. It's just a particularly snowy bit of highway, and this section is one of the areas in Wyoming where you're most likely to need to chain up. During the winter months. One of the only places where when the road gets that bad, instead of closing it, they put in chain controls. Though they often wind up closing it shortly after because people wreck when they should have chained up, or they either did not chain up or they chained up and then still wrecked. So this section of highway gets closed a lot. I very much enjoy this section of highway. Driving it in good weather is a lot of fun. When the traffic's not too heavy. When the traffic's heavy, the merges at the tops of the hills are a little bit awkward. They're not as much fun as you might expect. And we should be coming into Evanston here. So yeah, right there, you can see out the right window is the chain off area or chain up area, depending on which direction you're traveling. Nice little bit of parking where you can. We're going a little too fast. Where you can put your chains on or take your chains off, which is handy, very very handy. And also just where a lot of people end up parking if they don't have adequate chains for the situation at hand. Though I personally prefer parking down here at the there's a truck stop up at the next exit on the freeway. Yeah, you can just kind of see the truck stop here already. We're going to just zip right over top of that. Kind of bear a little bit to the right and watch out for Watch out for any traffic. I think there's an airport around here somewhere, so we got to be a little bit careful.
500. 500.
This does not look quite right. There should be a truck stop here. This must be like generic. I think that might be like generic buildings because there must have been a cloud or something there. That should be a truck stop. Yeah, because there's the Walmart and there's a Wendy's over here. There's a really hilarious set of signs right there because there's both a Wendy's and a Jiffy Lube, and when you come around the corner, the signs line up perfectly, so it looks like it's a combination Wendy's Jiffy Lube, which I realize is probably not that funny to most people, but I found it highly amusing every time. Alright, we're going to head off north here, down this river valley, and head up to Cokeville. We're 30 minutes into this flight, we're not even halfway there, so yeah, this might be a multi-part video. I don't want to have another 2-hour flight of nothing. Oh, there's the runway for the local airport. It's up on this little plateau. That's neat. I'm not flying in front of someone on final, am I? No, cool. We're good. We're good. Kind of annoyed the that whole marker thing is back. I'm just gonna actually turn that off real quick. Assistance, navigation aids, taxi ribbon off, and we're gonna just apply and save and go back. Resume. There we go. Yeah, if you get that lingering around, turn off the taxi ribbon and it goes away. You don't really need the taxi ribbon at the small airports for the most part. It's more of a handy thing for the big international airports. And I don't really fly the big international airports very often. Now we're sticking to VFR here, though the weather appears to be deteriorating up ahead a little bit, so we're going to stay below this cloud deck and do our best to maintain our own traffic separation. We want to stay at least 500 feet below that cloud deck, I think, is the idea. Oh, and let's go ahead and turn on our transponder, because I completely forgot to do that earlier. Altitude. There we go. We don't legally require it here, I think, because we're far enough away from Salt Lake City that we're outside the Mode C veil. But I think because I think because after the ADS-B requirement that happened earlier this year, we might be required to have the transponder on all the time. I don't know how that works. I'm not sure of the laws there. But let's keep it on, especially now that we're more than 1,400 feet above the ground. I think. Do we have a radar altimeter? None that I see. This is the bit of this route that I don't actually know particularly well. So we're just going to keep flying up this valley and mostly following the roads here. Looking for Cokeville, which is Cokeville, not the other spelling of Coke. It's like coal, Cokeville, that kind of Coke, the coal kind. Let's go buzz this lake, this lovely, lovely lake. It's the moment where you kind of wish you brought the Icon A5. I love flying the A5. It's one of my favorite planes in this game. but it is certainly not fast. Not that this plane's particularly fast, though. I mean, we're cruising almost as fast as the Baron was. Let's not hit our do not exceed speed, please. Do I have a radar altimeter here? Get close to the water and see what happens if we have a radar altimeter.
500.
Nope. Alright, so we get the 500 warning, I assume, based on known ground elevation. Because I'm not seeing our radar altimeter on there. 500 feet. We're definitely in the class golf here. Gorgeous. Let's do a little climb here. Just gonna keep pushing north along this valley. We're kind of dancing on the border here between Wyoming and Utah. And I do see the other traffic on my map, so we're staying nice and low. We're not too close to an airport now, so we should be all right. More than 500 feet below the cloud deck there.
500.
500 feet above the ground, actually. I don't see this other plane, so they must be real high up. They are kind of booking it, so I assume it might be an airliner. Most of the AI traffic in this game is airliners, I think. Or most of the live traffic in the game is airliners. Not a ton of GA traffic doing filed flight plans. Just cruise on up this valley. So the if we do land in Cokeville, we might at least do a touch and go there. I don't know. I want to see what the runway looks like, because the runway is just utter trash in real life. It is such bad condition. I kind of want to see if it's that bad in the game. It's like cracked and there's stuff growing through it, but it's still a live airport. But it's like, you wouldn't want to land an expensive plane there, let me put it that way. Like, it's almost better to land there when it's covered in snow. Just because you have a slightly smoother surface to land on. It's not a city that gets a lot of air traffic. I think if anything, it's probably just crop dusters landing there for the most part. And those tend to be slightly more rugged aircraft that don't really need super super flat runways. Alright, so this lake up here is Bear Lake, which is a big, famous vacation spot northeast of Salt Lake City. So a lot of Utah folks hanging out over there. That is in Utah as well. So we should, there is a highway that comes around south. It's Utah Highway 30. Comes south and then cuts over and meets up with US 30 somewhere around here. So we should see that highway at some point here. And we are going to fly that fly along Bear Lake in the next video when we take off from Bear Lake County Airport and fly back to Fort Bridger in the same plane because it's a rental. We've got to return it to the place we rented it from. Metaphorical rental. Obviously, you don't actually rent planes in this game. You happen to own one of everything. Beautiful though, isn't it? I just love this whole area. You just like nice flat open farmland to the right and then mountains to the right. To the left. I know it's right. Nice open farmland to the left, mountains to the right. I love it. I love driving through this whole area. It's so fun. Gosh, they really nailed the texture on these mountains. It looks fantastic. Like, I know it's a satellite image, but like they got the elevation data just right, so the rocky bits are the cliff, and then you've got like the piles of smaller rocks at the bottom. It's so perfect. So perfect. Oh, that might be Highway 30 coming in here. Not sure. I don't think so. It's a little too soon for Highway 30, to be quite honest. There's Highway 30. No? No. No, I don't think so, actually. This must be just like a local road that runs along this hill. There's two Highway 30s here. There's US Highway 30 and there's Utah Highway 30. And then Utah Highway 30 changes to a different number when it crosses the state line into Wyoming just before it gets to US Highway 30. Which we should see out here somewhere. Starting to feel we should be climbing a little bit. Can't help but notice the ground's getting a little closer. Ooh, that's a foreboding sky. Must be that weather that we left in, all that weather that we left behind in Jackson Hole catching up with us. Ah, there's our highway. Alright, so this is Utah Highway 30. Actually, this is right where it crosses the Wyoming state line. That's this pullout here is for the two state line signs. So we are crossing back into Wyoming here. I believe it's Wyoming Highway 89, but I don't know for sure. But yeah, if we look off to the left, you'll see that highway going back into that other ridge of mountains off to, let's just bank to the left a little bit to show it off. It disappears into the mountains up here. There's a really steep grade through that ridge, complete with a quite dramatic truck escape ramp that I'm happy to report I've never had to use. I've never used any truck escape ramps, but you know, that's one of the more terrifying ones. But down here you can see the junction. That's US 30 snaking through the mountains here, and that's where Wyoming 89 meets up with it. Or Utah 30 if you want to. That's the road, what that road's known as before it crosses the state line. So it's 30 meeting 30, effectively. Yeah, US Highway 30, Utah Highway 30 / Wyoming 89. That's a fun intersection because sometimes people will just pull out in front of a truck going like 20 mile an hour. Because that's an uncontrolled intersection. It is it's a T junction. The US 30 has no stop or yield signs, and Wyoming 89 / Utah 30 has but a stop sign, no stop light. So sometimes people just pull out in front of you going super slow. Very fun corner, especially when it's snowing. But yeah, so now we've got US 30 to follow up to Cokeville. And you can see we're crossing the direct route from our starting airport, Fort Bridger, to our ending airport in Bear Lake County. But we're not following the direct course. We're just navigating by sight, because that's more fun than... in conditions like this, where you can see for miles, it's more interesting than following a line on a GPS. Following a line on a GPS is like the most boring way to fly, in my book. I actually had someone leave a comment on one of my bush flight trips that they were annoyed that I wasn't doing the headings and the timers. I was just looking out the window and realizing where I was and just going to the places they described rather than timing it out and stuff. And it's just like, where's the fun in that? I don't understand it. Like, it's so much more fun to look out the window, see where you're flying, and be like, oh, okay, I know where I am and I know where I'm going. It's more interesting that way. I've got a good sense of direction and it's fun to show it off. Oh, we are cooking. Nice, speedy little plane. So, Cokeville Airport should be somewhere down here. And I assume it'll be on the chart when we get there, so just kind of keep an eye out for it. But it might not be. You never know. We might be zoomed out too far to see it. Either way, we're following US 30 now. When we actually get to Cokeville, I'll know I've gone too far. Or if we just happen to see the runway off to our left here somewhere. That will also suffice. Which, it's not super close to that intersection. It's a good hour to the, or it's a good, like, 30-minute drive from Cokeville to the way station sometimes. Considerably longer when it's snowing, so we shouldn't be there too terribly soon. I don't know. We'll see. Gosh, I miss driving out here. It's just so nice. It's such a peaceful drive. Just cruising along this 2-lane blacktop in a heavy tractor trailer. It's my preferred route into Idaho, is I come up US 30 and cross directly from Wyoming into Idaho north of here, rather than cutting through Utah, because it's 2 fewer way stations you have to go through. So it's quite handy. And it generally, this road's better plowed than I-80 during the winter. Fewer trucks as well on this road, and the people that are on it tend to be folks that know how to drive a little better, that aren't just like staying on the interstate. So you get fewer accidents on this road. Though when you do get accidents out here, they tend to be real bad. I think this might be our airport right here. It may in fact be Cokeville. I just saw a light flash, so yeah, I'm pretty sure this is in fact the Cokeville Airport. Yes, indeed. Yep, there's the airport beacon.
500.
Oh, shush. That's quite a displaced threshold on that, huh? So the reason for that displaced threshold is that's where the most damage is on the runway, so they try to get people to land a bit long. We're not going to land on it. We're just going to keep flying. This video's long enough without doing an extra landing. Yeah, so this is the town of Cokeville here, and I know these two hills extremely well because I park in this town all the time. There's a huge Flying J truck stop here, way bigger than this town needs, or the traffic through here can possibly justify. But it always has parking, and I love stopping there. You can see it right here, the truck stop. Right there. Look at that, how big that. There's only like 3 trucks in the entire parking lot when they took that photo. It's huge. I love it. And these two mountains make for spectacular scenery and photographs. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite places to stop on trips to the northwest. Yeah, I know. 500. It's cool. We're going to keep following US 30 through here. A lot of deer crossing this area because there's quite a few trees along the road here, so they tend to find this area a little more secluded. So you're a little more likely to have a surprise animal jump out in front of you on this part of the highway. It's getting dark out here, isn't it? I don't think I ever turned on my my lights. Okay. Nav, land. This is nav and landing. There we go. Got him. Nav, taxi, landing stroke. Okay. I've only got three buttons for lights in this particular plane, so I just got to make sure I know which ones are which on my panel, so I can turn them on and off the easy way. Alright, so we actually are going to just climb a little bit here because we're going to be crossing a small ridge up ahead. And I don't remember the altitude of the border summit, it's just called border summit. It's the border between Wyoming and Idaho. Because we are now north of the Utah border, or we will be shortly. There's like a three-state corner somewhere in here between Wyoming, Utah, and Idaho. It's kind of the top right corner of, like, the shape of Utah is like, and it's got that notch in the top right. We're in, like, the little top bit of that, if that makes any sense. Ooh, it's getting dark out here. What time is it? It's 15:30, so actually, let's... we still got the boost pump on? Yeah, let's... Whoops! Alright, don't click that twice. Alright, we're good. I accidentally shut off my engine there. All right, so that junction down there is where Wyoming Highway 89 splits off. That highway goes north to Alpine, which is an area that we visited up near Jackson the other day. And then US 30 continues on this way. This is where I passed that huge flock of sheep in the road, if you followed my trucking YouTube stuff. And then US 30 just heads up over this ridge. Over the border summit. So there should be like a low spot that I think we can sneak through over here, but we're just going to fly up and over, I think. Try and stick close to 30. Much as we can. Border summit. I've crossed this hill so many times I can like perfectly trigger my engine brakes so that I have full speed coming down the hill. Like I get to the bottom of that hill at 65 mile an hour in coming into Wyoming. It's kind of great. More than a little bit fun. All right, let's see. What's our road doing down here? Squeezes through this notch and then I think follows this valley. Yeah, okay, there it is. So it goes through this valley and around these corners and then squeezes through this notch over here. So that's cool. That's cool. Done many a trip through here, so I know this bit of highway quite well. This is the area on this highway where you always lose cell coverage. Because you're just traveling between these two mountain ridges and there's just no towers out here at all. I love it. I love it so much. It's such a blast to drive out here. So beautiful, right? Major deer migration area, this whole region. All right, so we're coming into this valley. This is north of Bear Lake. So we'll have the city of Montpelier, Idaho, off to our right. Somewhere out in this vicinity. And we should have the airport almost directly ahead of us. Yep, I can see a runway right there. Alright, let's tune the local traffic. Nearest airport list, Bear Lake County. Oh, interesting. We don't have AWAS. Ooh. Can I see AWAS right now? Ah, perfect. 20 gusting to 28 out of 300. Nailed it. Out of 300. So we'll want to land on runway 28. Which we were almost perfectly lined up for there. We're going to announce a full stop landing. And we'll announce our position.
1 Uniform 7 Traffic Cirrus, November. Charlie 22 Foxtrot Bravo, 6 miles east 7,800 feet inbound to land runway 28.
You want to land into the wind is why we picked that particular runway. Hopefully the real world weather reading is close enough to whatever the game is loaded in for live weather. Alright, we're going to fly left traffic for this runway. But we're going to fly over the runway and check out the make sure it's clear, check and see if there's a windsock. So we might change which runway we're landing on. And we'll circle to a landing. Alright, upwind.
1 Uniform 7 Traffic Cirrus, November. Charlie 22 Foxtrot Bravo is on upwind runway 28.
Alright, so that was us announcing that we have entered the pattern. Don't see anybody on the runway. It looks like there might be a windsock down there. Can I zoom in on that? See if I can actually see the windsock itself. There's no windsock in the circle. Awesome. Love it when they don't render the windsock. Is that a plane? No, it's just a runway threshold. Okay. Let's go for a crosswind.
1 Uniform 7 Traffic Cirrus, November. Charlie 22 Foxtrot Bravo is on crosswind runway 28.
Oh, there we go. There's a windsock. Ooh. That's not encouraging. We might change our runway if that's the case. It looks like a almost a pure crosswind on the longer runway. What just happened there? Are there two windsocks blowing in different directions? I'm so confused. We're circling. Okay, no, now the windsock is... Okay, the weather must have just updated, and for a moment there were two windsocks. So the windsock now appears to be blowing in the correct direction, which should be this way. Yep, we're good. Okay, cool. We're going to land 28 then. We're going to swing out further away from the...
1 Uniform 7 Traffic Cirrus, November. Charlie 22
Further away from the
Foxtrot
runway.
Bravo is on downwind runway 28.
And we'll do a nice big teardrop turn to come into final. Alright, so let's bring our speed down. Make sure our mixture is full. Our landing lights are on. Drop a notch of flaps. Alright, so our approach speed according to this thing was 101 knots, which seems a little bit high. But, hey, who am I to argue? We seem to be pretty stable at 93 here, but... Alright. Base leg.
1 Uniform 7 Traffic Cirrus, November. Charlie 22 Foxtrot Bravo is on base runway 28.
Descending. And final.
1 Uniform 7 Traffic Cirrus, November. Charlie 22 Foxtrot Bravo is on final runway 28 to land.
500.
500 feet. Nice steep approach. Aiming for the numbers, don't hit the lights. power. Touchdown. Oh, bounced once. There we go. Bit of a crosswind. Whew. Almost blowing me off the runway. Let's apply some braking here. There we go. Alright, we should have another taxiway. Yep. Perfect. Announce clear of the runway.
1 uniform, 7 traffic, Cirrus, November. Charlie 22 Foxtrot Bravo is clear of the runway.
Landing lights off. Retract the flaps. Mixture's still good. We can turn off our transponder. Stand by. And I think we can turn the fuel pump off. Excellent. Let's turn the flight director off as well while we're at it. Flight director off. There we go. And let's go get some parking. And that can go away. Welcome to Bear Lake County. So this is just, I happen to like the city of Montpelier, so I figured this is going to be kind of a long one as far as the sightseeing tours go. Just because not a whole lot of places I really wanted to bring the Baron out here. But I did want to get up and see this part of Idaho and how it was rendered in the game. Just because it's one of my favorite parts of the entire state, and it's lovely. So I figured split this sightseeing tour into 2 parts, just like the last one, but take a faster plane and split it here on the ground, and just treat it like we're spending the weekend in Montpelier, Idaho. That was my turnoff, wasn't it? Nope, there it is. Alright, well, we're not going to park in the helicopter spot like they seem to want me. Those are for bigger planes or a nice little plane, so we're just going to pull in right here. That looks pretty good. Let's pop outside, see how we did. That's not bad. I'm pretty okay with that parking job. Maybe a little bit forward and to the right. Good enough. All right. And that's going to do it for me. Let's start shutting this plane down. Okay, so our nav lights can go off. We are now parked. We're going to leave the strobe light on. We are going to pull the parking brake, which is somewhere down here. There? Yep. Okay, cool. We got the fuel thing off already. Let's turn off the avionics. Let's actually just... I know how to do this. There we go. Get the switch. The switch look. All right. So avionics off. Pitot heat off. And we're just going to back into our regular seat, and we're going to bring the mixture down to shut the engine off. There we go. Game's given... I did not take off, apparently, but I did successfully land. Whatever. I love it when it does that. Alright, so that's... The prop has turned off. Yes, okay. We're going to now Close the fuel shutoff valve. And we're going to turn off the alternators and the magnetos, as well as the strobe light and the batteries. And with that, the airplane is not cold and dark. It's still warm because we did just fly it across the country. But hey, we're parked. We're safely parked right here. And you know what? I am going to leave this plane here, and I'm going to try and do the next recording. I'm going to save it right now. As you can see, we can modify the weather options here. So we're on live weather, live time. So I'm going to save this and see if we can't just load right back into the same plane and the same spot, rather than doing a whole new flight plan and whatever. And we'll just program the flight plan into the computer the hard way for the return trip. All right. I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Elio Dare. You can find me at Elio Dare on Twitter, Xbox Live, Steam, etc., and Nintendo Switch. Almost forgot to say that one. But of course, the best place to get something from my eyeballs is just down in the comments. I'm still a tiny channel, so I still read all of the comments, including the ones that get deleted. So be nice. But come say hi. It would mean a lot to me, and it's I enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.